The following is a Candlepin Stars and Strikes rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable programs.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Look at this. Look at
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is sponsored in part by Somerville Lumber. Looks good. Looks good. That's the girl. It's a Candlepin Stars and Strikes is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to Candlepin Stars and Strikes. And again, welcome to our annual mixed doubles event here on Stars and Strikes. Don't forget, 2 full hours coming up here on the Winds. Mixed doubles here at noon, and then at 1 o'clock we'll have our annual ladies doubles event. So, Dan Murphy, we've got 5 teams set to go, and this is a chance for us to break away from our regular format and see a little bit different form of bowling.
Yeah, it's always fun, and of course, get the ladies on with the gentlemen. And it's a Scotch doubles format, just like our men's doubles or women's doubles, and it should be interesting to see what happens.
All right, let's meet our 2 teams for today's first week of this 4-week series. First of all, our number 5 seeded team from Plastow, New Hampshire, Gary Carrington, and his partner from Grantham, New Hampshire, Karen Valcourt.
Okay, Gary comes in averaging 134. His roll-off score was 695, and Karen has an average of 105, and her roll-off score 585.
And, of course, Gary, a longtime veteran here on Stars and Strikes. Karen making her very first appearance on the program. And on the other team, it just so happens, is Karen's brother-in-law, our 4th-seeded team from Newport, New Hampshire, Larry Valcourt, and his partner from Epping, New Hampshire, Debbie Regan.
Okay, Larry comes in averaging 124. His roll-off score 696, and Debbie Regan's averaging 117, and 589 was her score.
All right, and our prize money is the same as it is on Stars and Strikes doubles, so we'll run over that for you a little bit later on. But, of course, we also have our bonus ball contest coming up at the end of the show. We had a winner last week, so we've emptied out the TV, and we've got a brand new set of cards in there. We hope one of them is yours. If not, we'll tell you how to do that a little bit later on. And we'll start our mixed doubles series with the first string of 3 here on Stars and Strikes right after these words. Don't go away. All right, welcome back to Candlepin Stars and Strikes, and here's how we put the teams together for mixed doubles. We have the men and the women roll off separately, and here were the top 5 men's scores. You see Peter Flynn, followed very closely by Mike Poulin, and then Joe Ashline, Larry Valcourt, and Gary Carrington. Now the ladies' scores, 1 through 5, and this year, to coincide with our pairings on the doubles program, we pair the men's finishers and the women's finishers together. In other words, the top finisher in the men's roll-off with the top finisher, or the women's roll-off number 2 with number 2, and so on down the line. And so here are our teams based on those pairings, and you've already met our 2 teams today, Gary Carrington and Karen Valcourt, rolling against Larry Valcourt and Debbie Regan. And Gary Carrington is set to get this match started now. The winners, of course, will move on. Joe Ashline and Wendy Sandin will be our 3rd-seeded team coming in next week. But here is Gary Carrington to get things started here as we begin our annual mixed doubles series. Not quite on the 10-pin.
Gary's been with us, as you said, a number of times. And it makes it a 10 box. So he's no stranger, but his partner, Karen, first time in front of the lights. So I imagine it'll take her a few boxes to loosen up, get rid of a few of the butterflies.
Well, it's good also to have a veteran partner, someone like Gary who's been here a lot. It'll help ease some of the tension, I would imagine, a little bit, as Gary drops 9, leaving the 3-pin.
just would like to know who drove the car down. Was it Larry or Karen,
or did they
drive
come together?
Right. Or will they go home together?
Single pin for the spare, and Gary Carrington has it. In terms of the format here on our mixed doubles series, same as on our double show at 1 o'clock. The teams bowl 2 boxes at a time, and they alternate. Each bowler 2 boxes at a time. Here's Larry Valcourt.
Missing badly to the right. Just takes out the 6-10.
For those of you who missed it last week, Tom Morgan was our winner over Steve Vadnais. So Tom Morgan advanced to the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions in the spring with a 381. So our 4 qualifiers right now: Paul Berger, Peter Flynn, Tom Morgan, Bob Mazur. And Larry works it out for a 9. Of course, this series, the mixed doubles series, and the ladies doubles series, that will immediately follow at 1 o'clock here on the Winds, each stand alone. So regardless of what tournaments are won by various people during the season, the mixed doubles and the ladies doubles are separate, which is why, for instance, you see Peter Flynn in there.
And Larry matches the mark put up by Gary Carrington in the second. And now Gary's partner, Karen Valcourt, will fill the spare. Karen's a left-hander from Sunset Lanes, and she drops 7. Leaves herself a tough spare, the 6, 7, and 9. Almost looks like she'd have to go after the 6-pin on the right-hand side and try to dance everything across to the left. Now let's see, the wood's going to settle in there. That's not going to be much help for her.
That, of course, was a 7 fill on the spare that was left by her partner, Gary Carrington. Karen, as I mentioned, is from Grantham, New Hampshire. She works as an RN at Catholic Medical Center. As Dan said, does most of her bowling at Sunset Lanes in Newport. Karen and her husband Dan have 3 children, 8-year-old Doug, 8-year-old Dave, and 3-year-old Beth. And Dan Valcourt, Karen's husband, is Larry's brother. So this is another first here on Stars and Strikes. Brother and sister-in-law, head-to-head battle.
For the family championship. We really could build this up.
Karen trying to work out the half Worcester and gets an 8 box. So 43 through 4 for the team. And now Deb Regan.
And she'll also fill the spare put up by her partner, Larry Valcourt. And crosses over, not a bad break. I think she was looking at the half Worcester at first.
Debbie turned away from that ball before it even hit the pins. She knew it was off target, but she missed all the excitement. An 8-pin fill.
Leaves herself the 1 and the 7. Piece of wood in behind the head pin, which should help because it looks like it's angled right towards the 7-pin.
That's it. 2 spares in a row for the team.
You see, just clipped the head pin into the wood and everything was angled to the left and cleared out the 7-pin. And this time she's back on the head pin and let's see, half a dozen. 3, 6, 10, and the 4-pin.
Not quite.
Debbie's been with us several times before.
Yeah, in fact, last year, Debbie was here in ladies doubles She was partnered with Tony Austin. They won a match before dropping a close one to Lynn Perrin and Kathy Fuller. Yep. Gary Carrington was expecting a spread eagle. He got an extra pin, taking out the 7.
2-4 on the left, 3-6-10 on the right. Piece of wood behind the 2 and the 4.
And Gary with the 10. Gary Carrington from Plastow, New Hampshire. He and his wife Kathleen have 2 sons, 9-year-old Matthew and 4-year-old Michael. Gary works as a pipe fitter for AT&T in North Andover, Mass. And does a lot of his bowling at the Pilgrim Lanes in Haverhill and also at Exeter Lanes in Exeter, New Hampshire. And that was a pretty looking pocket hit, wasn't it?
I was just going to say, that looks very good going down the lane, the 1-2 pocket, and the result is even better. First strike of the match, second mark for the team of Carrington and Valcourt.
Larry Valcourt now trying to answer and not quite on the 5-pin. Well, let's wait a minute here. Nope.
Too good. He just blew 9 of them out and never touched the 5-pin until that wood rested against it. And he's going to shoot at the 5 and just sliding by. I think he was a little intimidated by the piece of wood looking at him and didn't want to cap it.
Well, I've asked you this once before, and you dodged the question. Who do you like in the game today?
It's tough. It's tough.
Actually, it being Super Bowl Sunday, we should mention, because we had been promoting it for quite some time, as Larry Valcourt comes back and does answer the strike by Gary Carrington in the 6th.
And I know Larry's thinking, boy, that would have been a nice fill if I picked up that 5-pin, but Karen now will fill the strike put up by Gary Carrington. Looks good. Looks good.
Oh.
Looks good. Double?
Oh, wow. How did it not go over?
Nice looking ball, though. Ball breaks from left to right. And she's right on it.
For the spare. Spare on strike.
It's safe to say the butterflies have gone.
Yeah. Just bowling now.
That time left it to the left, just didn't break in sharp enough for her. It's a 5 fill on the spare.
The 1, 3, 7, 8, and 10. Started to say, with today being Super Bowl Sunday, we'd been telling you for some weeks now about the opening of the official opening of the New England Sports Museum at the Cambridge Side Galleria in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and the opening has been pushed back. Many of you probably have already heard that already. We apologize if it caused anybody any inconvenience, but due to our taping schedule, we weren't able to hear about it until the day of the taping for this show, and so instead of opening today, the opening is going to be in late February, so we invite you to give a call down to the New England Sports Museum and find out exactly when the opening will be. Of course, for those of you who have not heard, the New England Sports Museum is going to feature a rather sizable display on Candlepin bowling, in addition to all the other displays at the museum on a permanent basis. As Debbie sees an 8 after an 8 fill on the strike.
It's going to be quite a display, really. It's really done first class. It's very exciting, so all of you get a chance to go down to Boston and Cambridge, stop by the Galleria Mall in Cambridge, just around the corner from the Science Museum.
And I keep repeating this because you can't stress this too often when you're talking about going down to the Boston-Cambridge area. Parking is right underneath the mall.
That's
and
right.
It is very, very reasonable. $9 for Debbie Regan, and this match is separated by just 1 pin.
3 marks apiece, 2 spares and a strike for both teams, and fills are pretty comparable, and that's why it's a 1-pin advantage for Valcourt and Regan. Gary Carrington for the final 2 boxes of game number 1, for his team anyways.
No, Gary did go through the middle that time for the spread eagle. He almost had it last time on lane 32. And it'll be a $9. 104 through 9. The prize money sequence for this mixed doubles championship: $800 to the overall winning team, $400 for second, $250 for third, $200 for fourth, and the runners-up in this match will receive fifth prize money of $150. And Gary is again through the middle. This time, only the 1-5 punched out.
He's hitting that object pin, the head pin, with that first ball, but he's just hitting it flush and driving right straight through. And now he's hit the object pin. He's shot at both times now, and he's still looking at 6 pins standing. Took out the 1-5, and then the 2 and the 8. And that's a pretty good out.
That's a terrific out. A $9 and a 113 for the team of Carrington and Karen Valcourt. So now Larry Valcourt steps up for the final 2 for his team with a chance to put them in the lead. Or keep the lead, I should say. They're already leading by 1, and Larry drops 9, leaving the 4-pin.
Piece of wood that's going to rest right next to it. Well, now it's going to roll. Well, I guess it's going to stay right there, above the red line. Left of the red line should have no problem.
There it is. Mark number 4 for the team of Larry Valcourt and Deb Regan.
It increases the lead by 1 more, so its lead is now 2 plus the fill. Chance to really pad the lead and get it into double figures with a good fill.
On lane 31, turned it over, just 4. Really turned that ball over. Looked like Larry was trying to throw that ball a little extra hard.
Throws it pretty hard regardless.
$116 right now.
So they'll have the lead, but it certainly will be in single digits.
It will indeed. 117 is the total for Larry Valcourt and Deb Regan, and a 4-pin advantage over Gary Carrington and Karen Valcourt. We'll be back with game number 2 and details on our bonus ball contest after these messages. Bonus ball at the end of the show, then you win. So, of course, if you win, you and the bowler each win. Also, a brand new set of bowling balls from Paramount Industries.
That time Debbie crossed over in the 1-2 pocket, and you see what happened. The ball went immediately to the left sidewall and didn't get the good mixing action, and she left the back row plus the 6-pin. And there goes a 6. Now she has the back row, the 7, 8, 9, 10. Help me.
Hit the wood and hope.
Yeah. Pretty good out.
Almost took 3 of them, but instead we'll take an 8. Deb Regan from Epping, New Hampshire. She and her husband Michael have 3 children, 20-year-old Kelly, Jeffrey, who's 17, and 14-year-old Lonnie, and there's a big strike.
There's a difference in that 1-2 pocket. That was nice and tight, almost full, and had been just to the left. And you can see the ball still starting to go left, but she got the good mixing action that time and the strike.
Second strike for the team. And now Karen Valcourt. Pulled that one a little bit right, but not too bad. The 1, 2, 7, and 8 with wood. Oh, that one went to the right also. Like it slipped right out of her hand. And it's a 9-box.
She'll move over to lane 31, trying to protect the 4-pin advantage. No, actually, she's trying to get rid of that 4-pin disadvantage. Down by 4.
This time to the left. Just missing the head pin. And a 6-box, even though she hit the head pin.
Well, a lot of courage there. She just figure I'll go for the head pin, see if I can get 3 or 4 of them. Unfortunately, it's just a little full in the head pin, and that's all she removed was the head pin. So Larry Valcourt now will work on the strike in the second and can increase the lead some more. Six, 7, 10. Let's see where the wood settles down. Looks like you have to play the wood in front of the 6-10 and try to snap it over to the left.
And did it for the spare on the strike.
Actually, he drove it right straight back. I think it was a 6-pin that actually went over there. Yes, it was. Great shot.
Spare on strike. And now on lane 31, the fill.
And it's 7, and I have to check the piece of wood. Be very close to being out of play.
I don't think it'll matter too much on the shot, although Larry might decide to play it, although I don't know if he'd want to risk it on the 3, 5, and 9. It will be out of play, so Larry will get a clean shot at it.
Difficult shot, too, because of the 9-pin in the back. You got to be almost full on the 3-pin to get the 9, but then you'll run the risk of leaving the 5-pin. Of course, you could split it and have the 3-pin come off the wall, but that's a great shot. Very nicely done.
3 marks in a row for the team of Larry Valcourt and Deb Regan. Gary Carrington now on lane 32, where he's had some problems punching out. Not this time.
Problem he's had is he's hitting the head pin full, but not this time. And anytime you're hitting the head pin, that's really not a big problem. It's when you're missing it is more of a problem. Just a matter of moving a couple inches one way or the other, and he's going to start getting strikes or 9-pin drops or at least spare leaves. And you saw it there, looking for the double strike. Just a little full, but he kicked it out.
There we go. Oh, we'll take it out to a commercial, a double strike for Gary Carrington, and that should close the gap a bit. We'll be back with more in a minute. Well, things heating up here in this middle game. Debbie Regan working on a spare for her team, which is their 3rd mark in a row. She slides just a little bit to the left.
Just a 3 fill on the spare.
Debbie does a lot of her bowling right here at Park Place Lanes, so this is a home advantage for her here. She just misses converting on the spare. Debbie works as a self-employed hairstylist. And it's a 9-box, 67.5 for the team. But that may not be good enough to preserve their lead, because when Karen Valcourt steps up, she's going to be working on a double strike.
Still early in the match to have one shot be very important, but it's going to be just that when Karen gets up there, because she'll be working on a double strike. Debbie goes through the middle. 3-6 on the right, 2-4-7 on the left. No wood to help her.
Oh, what an effort.
Lit the 3-6 and was able to cut it into the 7. Still looking at the 2 and the 4.
And the 10 bucks.
Well,
2 open frames. And let's take another look at that attempted cut shot. She had the right idea. Just missed catching the 4 pin on the way by. Karen Valcourt on a double strike. That's what you want, a big fill on the first ball.
She leaves herself to 2-4 and a piece of wood in between that may cost her the shot. Let's see. Oh, she's got to hurry. It's a 9 fill on the second strike.
Well, guess what? Right now, this match, halfway through, dead even.
She did her job. She probably would have liked to, of course she would have liked to put another mark up, but she did get decent fills. 8 on the first ball and 28 on in that box and 19 in the next. So now she would like to put one up for her partner. And she's going to have a shot at the 1 and the 3.
And no, just missing.
You could see her leaning the body angle. She knew the ball had to really come back for her, and it just hung out to the left. That time she got it to turn over, and 10 bucks.
And it's still tied. And now brother-in-law steps up, Larry Valcourt. Larry from Newport, New Hampshire. He and his wife Terry have a daughter, Robin, 16. And Larry works as the manager of Sunset Lanes in Newport. And let's see, it'll be the 3 and the 9, the half Worcester pins with wood.
Yes, nice looking wood, as a matter of fact. Piece out in front, another piece to the left, and another one in the back.
You want some wood if you have these 2 pins for a spare leaf.
It seems so easy to pick these 2 pins out when you're shooting at all 10 pins, but when you get them together with no wood, it's very difficult.
Right there for the spare. Mark number 8 for the team of Larry Valcourt and Deb Regan. On the head pin, a little bit full.
6 fill on the spare, 2-4-7, and the 6 pin, piece of wood in between the 2 and the 4, which probably is going to prevent him from splitting the 2-4, because you can just see the cap. I think if he tries a split, it's going to deflect the ball. He's on the inside. Great shot. 2 in a row.
Great shot here. Well, there's a challenge now to Gary Carrington as he steps up. Tie match.
Pretty fierce competitor, Gary is, though. And remember, he's been all over the head pin all day long.
And again.
This time the 9-10 and piece of wood in between, which definitely going to help him. Take a piece of the wood as he's hitting the 10 pin.
Yep. Spare it up in the 7th. And you talk about him being on the head pin more often than not, Dan. I would imagine that is largely responsible for Gary's average, which is now up to 134. That probably, I would say, without question, is the highest average we've ever had someone carrying here on the program. We've had several in the 130 area, but 134 is really something.
Back on the head pin again, this time a 7-pin drop, 4-7-8 left for Gary. Trying to keep pace. Actually, he's temporarily has the lead by a pin, but he would have to convert this to maintain it, or have a chance to maintain it.
And he's got it, the triangle in the corner, so he matches the 2 marks put up by Larry Valcourt.
He's pretty sharp right now.
Yeah.
Kind of a dangerous thing when Gary is on his game. Debbie right in the pocket.
Oh, yes. Now that time, did you notice it looked like the back row collapsed at the same time? Watch this now.
This is the pocket she wants to hit. The ball doesn't go that fast, but she gets the full advantage of the ball cutting through the pins. This time she's crossing over. The light hit, not bad. Triangle in the right-hand corner, which is difficult for Debbie because she stands to the right of the approach. She's only have 3 or 4 boards to work with all the way down. Let's see if she can catch it. No.
Nope. Still a terrific string for the team, 139 plus this ball.
See, in this instance, I always tell the bowlers you might want to move a little more to the center of the approach.
That ball dipped into the channel, so it's a 139. Terrific game for Larry Valcourt and Deb Regan. They have 10 marks already in the match. Now here's Karen Valcourt. Working on a spare, pulled it a little bit to the right. Just a 3-fill. And watch out.
So again, they're going to find themselves behind, depending on what she does in the last box.
Well, a mark and a sizable fill would certainly keep the lead in single figures.
Now, barring a double strike, they'll lose the second game. They'll lose 2 of the battles, but they certainly haven't lost the war yet because they're still within striking distance with 1 game to go. Half Worcester left.
And a 7. 128. So the 2-game totals for Larry Valcourt and Deb Regan, 256 for Gary Carrington and Karen Valcourt, 241. The lead is 15. 1 game to go. We'll be back in a minute. All right, 3rd game to go. Gary Carrington to lead it off, and there's the situation.
15 pins. Has he missed the head pin with his first ball yet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Nope.
2, 4, 5, and 9. Just missing the object pin there, which is the 2.
And the 10 bucks. Reminder, coming up right after this program at 1 o'clock, Stars and Strikes doubles from the Londonderry Bowling Center. And we'll begin our annual Ladies Doubles series. And we did it to him.
I know.
Didn't we?
1, 2, 6, 10. Missing the head pin to the left.
But it's still a spare lead. And Gary gets it. He did it the hard way. But that's all that matters. It's a spare up on the board.
While Larry gets up, just like to say a quick hello to someone who I am one of his biggest fans, Doug. He has not mentioned you. Maybe I'll introduce you to him.
You mean he's one of your biggest fans, not you're one of his biggest fans?
No, I'm one of his biggest fans.
Oh, okay.
Yes, really.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I heard this from a little birdie, his grandson Jason. He lives in Rochester, New Hampshire, and it's Charlie King. Charlie, thanks for watching, and this is Doug Brown sitting next to me.
I'm just here to keep Dan company.
Charlie watches every week over in Rochester. Larry just missing even just the one pin, 9 box.
And now opposite the spare, left by Gary Carrington in the second. Again, the winners today move on to face Joe Ashline and Wendy Sandin next week. Well, Larry bought a couple of extra pins, but it's still not much of a lead. The 4, 7, and 10. The only wood is in the channel to the right.
He had a shot similar to this, the opposite side, but he had a piece of wood in front of the 6-10. This time, 4-7 is no help. He's going to have to slap the 4-pin off the wall and come across, or try to cut it. He'd try to come off the wall with it. So Karen is going to have a chance to cut into this lead when she gets up, working on that spare.
$9, 2 of them. So the lead is down to 13, and it will be reduced further by Karen's fill on this spare. Been having a little trouble pulling the ball to the right, but that time she got away with it, a 7 drop.
She was just dead on the 3-pin, but she was able to clear 7 of them away, as Doug said, and leave herself a legitimate spare leave in the 1-2-7. Got to have the head pin on this one, though. Yeah, it's got to hurry.
Nope. The lead, though, is down to 6. $10 for Karen.
She's probably pressing just a little bit. She really wants to leave one up there for Gary to work with. Now she'll have a shot. Not an easy one, but 2, 4, 7, and the 9-pin in the back. Piece of wood in front of the 2 and the 4. Let's see. Oh, just deflected the ball away from the 2-pin.
And it'll be a $9. So 46 through 4. And a chance for Debbie Regan now to increase what is now down to a 6-pin lead for the team. Right on the head pin,
Wow.
but look at the result.
5, 7, 10.
That was a pretty good looking ball, too.
Really was. It seemed to be right in the 1-3 pocket. Try to snap the wood, but not much help there. So she'll drop another pin or 2 unless she can convert this for a 10. Lead is now 5 pins.
Getting a little tight here as we move down to the final several boxes.
As I said, Valcourt and Regan have won 2 of the battles, but they haven't won the war.
For the spare, yes! Oh, big shot right there for Debbie Regan. After a bad first ball, we'll swing to a quick break and come back with the end of this match. It's a good one. Don't go away. Okay, 6 boxes to go. There's that 134 average. Gary Carrington on lane 32, and again on the head pin. There's one thing about Gary, too, we've talked about it before, Dan, and that is there's a real, in his approach, it's a very economical delivery. Not a lot of wasted motion.
Short and compact. Oh boy. Tough break there. Leaves the 8-pin.
Takes just 3 quick steps. Keeps his body low. Follows through.
All the things you should do.
Again. And this time, he'll shoot at the 610.
Getting to the point where it's almost a must. He'll have this box and 2 more remaining for himself. Oh boy.
He picked it.
That has to be the most frustrating of all things to do in candlepin bowling. You're on your object pin, a quarter of an inch either way. The ball or the pin would have taken the other pin, which was the 10, but unfortunately he chops it right straight through, and 2 open frames for Larry Valcourt to work on.
But this is an important ball right here. It's on a spare.
He could push the lead into double figures, which would mean double mark for the other team to catch him. Well, let's see, half a dozen. And 1, 2, 6, and 10, and I think the wood will carry the head pin. He should sweep everything from left to right.
Well,
he was actually full in the head pin. Didn't get the full advantage of the wood to the left.
$10. Let's take another look at that.
See, actually the wood flew to the left and came back, and the second piece of wood stopped it from knocking the 10 pin down.
And Larry with a big 9 drop. He'll shoot at the 4 pin for a spare.
He's got a nice little guide there. Wants to avoid that pin if he can, though. See, right on the 4 pin.
Yes. Big mark right there, as the lead is already 12. And now we move into the final rotation of 4 boxes for each bowler. Last 2 for each bowler. 4 boxes for each team, I should say. Karen Valcourt on the head pin and looking at a spare leave.
And that being the 2 and the 4, just about a must at this point. Gotta hurry.
And it'll be a 9 box.
Almost looks like Karen is playing to split the 2-4 to make the shot, which you should always be shooting in that object pin. If you miss the object pin, you know, chances of making it are reduced. In that case, quite a bit. So you got to hit that object pin. Yeah, got a break there. It just leaves the 1, 3, and the 5 pin.
Yes, for the spare.
Off the left sidewall for the 5 pin. Keeps her team with a chance in this. Big ball for Debbie Regan now, leading by 12, and can increase it with this ball.
Just missing the head pin, leaving the 4 horsemen. The lead is now 18. For the spare, yes, running it down. Debbie liked that one a lot.
Right in the 1-3 pocket, and just a small, slow ball. Gets the full effect of the domino effect going down the line, and she's full on the head pin that time, but got a good break. 8 pin drop, and starting to take command.
Now all of a sudden the lead is 27 And if Debbie picks this mark up right here, it's going to be very difficult for the team of Carrington and Karen Valcourt. Waiting for that wood to settle down. And it's got it right on it. 3 big marks in a row for the team of Debbie Regan and Larry Valcourt, and they are in command here right now as we move to the final 2.
Gary's got to be thinking strikes to have any shot at all.
And Gary is right through the center. What a terrible time for that to happen again. That was on a spare.
That pin will not count.
Curtin came back and took it, so that'll be an 8 box. 97 through 9.
And the reason why the Curtin swung back and hit the 10 pin to knock it over, but Gary did not touch anything, any playable piece of wood. And he finishes with a strike in the 10th.
Even a triple, though, probably wouldn't do them much good at this point. It'll be an 8 on the strike, a 115, and a 356 for the team of Carrington and Karen Valcourt.
So anything 4 or more on this ball, and it's over.
And that ball does clinch it. So we are going to sneak away after Larry throws this ball, which presumably will be a spare here in the 9th. We're going to break away and come back and talk to the bowlers, have our bonus ball contest, and give you the final score of this match in a minute. Don't go away. We're back here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. There is a look at the final scoreboard. Larry Valcourt did pick up that single pin for a spare in the 9th and put a strike on it with an 8 fill in the 10th for an even 400 triple. So the team of Larry Valcourt and Deb Regan moves on, and Karen and Gary, slide right in here so that we can get you on camera. Congratulations. We have checks for you, and unfortunately not too much time to talk, but for you, Karen, your first time here, and boy, it seemed like they really kind of took it away from you there in the 3rd game. I mean, it's tough to beat a 400 in this format.
Yeah, well, I guess this is the first time, so I don't have to be nervous next time.
Right. Well, congratulations again on making it for the first time. It's good to have you, and we hope to see you again soon. And I know we'll see you again soon because you're here all the time. But well, just a tough 3rd game there because they really took it away from you at the end.
Well, they both great. They wanted it, and they went and got it. Both of them both good. Excellent. So.
Congratulations again, both of you. We'll hope to see you again soon. All right, Gary and Karen, thanks very much. And now Debbie Regan will step up and try and get us a winner in the bonus ball contest, as we're back down to $20 in the jackpot, and we've got a brand new set of postcards in here this week, so we'll see if we can't get another winner. There's also 3 brand new sets of bowling balls on the line here. We need a 6, Dan. What did you do for us? It's a skiing card, appropriately enough, but not a winner. An 8 was the guess for Mrs. Pearl 6 of Salem, New Hampshire. Her guess was an 8, so Mrs. 6 will be sending you a consolation gift, and thanks very much for joining us in the contest, and congratulations. Debbie and Larry, a terrific 400 triple, and boy, you really got it going there at the end. You closed them out right in those last few boxes.
Yeah, Larry did. Larry did.
Oh, I don't know. I think you both were contributing there in that 3rd
Okay.
game.
Yeah, we both threw our share there. Hey, we hit enough to win. That's what counts.
Well, 400 in this format doesn't happen very often, and that's a terrific score. Next week, we'll have Joe Ashline and Wendy Sandin for you, and we hope to see you again then. This applause is for you. We'll see you next week. Thanks very much, Larry Valcourt and Deb Regan, and we'll show you over to the ladder here for just a second to, again, give you a picture of what's going to happen next week. Larry Valcourt and Deb Regan will be back looking for a 2nd win in a row. Joe Ashline and Wendy Sandin will be here to try and knock them off.
Yeah, Wendy's first appearance for her on the show, too, so it'll be interesting to see how that matchup.
All right, be sure and stay tuned. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll have Stars and Strikes doubles. Our ladies doubles annual tournament begins here on the Winds. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole crew, I'm Doug Brown from Park Place Lanes. Have a good day, everybody.